Namaste and welcome to our channel, Shubh Temple. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the very big buzzwords in the spiritual community. A lot of people are giving lots of time and energy and thought to this concept of the spiritual bypass. Now, before I get started, I want to go ahead and invite you to please subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to be alerted when we post the next video. And the first thing that I want to mention, I've been making videos, for those of you that haven't already been following us, that are addressing a lot of these very popular, I call buzzwords or spiritual, popular type cultural things that are happening right now. And the things that we hear a lot with our students and just people that are messaging us or the groups that we're involved in is this toxic positivity, negative relationships, just toxic relationship in general, and this spiritual bypass and gaslighting. These are things that we're seeing a lot of people talking about and giving a lot of attention to. Now, I want to invite you, this is a discussion, so I invite your comments. I would love to know your thoughts, and I'm going to say something here, and I don't intentionally want to trigger anyone by this comment, but I want to say that this whole concept of spiritual bypassing, it's really a false premise, and there really is no such thing as a spiritual bypass. And I want to explain why. And I'm not here to convince you of a belief that you already have. I'm just here to offer you maybe another perspective. And I want to share with you how I came to this conclusion that there really is no such thing as a spiritual bypass. Oftentimes we talk about that people are using meditation, they're using their spiritual practices to avoid quote unquote reality, or maybe some painful things that are happening in their life. And I know that there's many definitions of exactly what a spiritual bypass is, but I want to just cover the main concept of avoidance. So us working in the field that we work in, we work with meditation students, those on a spiritual path. I think that the thing is, a lot of times when we put labels on people and we call them toxic or we call them negative and things like that, it's a very disempowering place to put ourselves. And why do I say that? Because, you know, when we look at somebody else, we have to realize they're not, people that are going through something, they're not saying, I'm spiritual bypassing this. It's something that, you know, we have to respect. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone is having their own, they're on their own path. We all become aware and conscious of things. So I think that it gets to be a problem when we are looking at other people and we are trying to judge or label where they are spiritually. I think that, you know, first coming from the perspective that you are spiritual just by you being here. Whether you call yourself agnostic, whether you believe that you don't have any beliefs at all, but those of us that are intending to practice spiritually and maybe teach other people by our example, just by our presence. I think that one of the biggest things that we need to do is practice ourselves being a little bit more compassionate and realizing that people that we want to call spiritual bypassing or doing these things, people come to discover things in layers. We're all kind of like onions. So sometimes people, when we think that they're escaping into meditation, we don't know really what's going on within them. You know, they could be going to meditate instead of using a drug. They could be what we would think is meditating to escape and what in reality it's keeping them from harming themselves in some way. I mean, so the thing is that we have to be very conscious and mindful about how we're observing other people, and is it really serving anyone to look at another person and call them that they're spiritual bypassing something? Because the reality is we only know ourselves, and those of us that claim anyway to be on a spiritual path or a spiritual journey, I think part of that is cultivating compassion in ourselves and accepting other people wherever they are, whatever their belief is, whatever their spiritual practice is. Because one thing that that I know, and that Shubh knows also, is that when you are really in this practice of meditation, when you're on some kind of spiritual practice, what actually happens is, because you are working on raising your consciousness, a lot of traumas resurface, a lot of things that you've been repressing, suppressing, these things come to light. So this is the thing that we have to, this is the reason that I say that that's a false premise to say that people are using spirituality to escape. Because when you're really doing these things, it actually brings it out into the forefront for you to work on, for you to, you know, learn how to process this kind of energy, this kind of heaviness, these things that you are dealing with in your life. And sometimes we may not like what we're observing in the other person, but we have to give them space. We have to understand that this is where they are in their personal journey, whatever that is, and it's more about us. As I've said in my videos about toxic relationships, that these people that feel toxic to us, they're actually giving us an invitation to do more work on ourselves, because really we want to create ourselves in a way that no matter what's happening around us, that we feel peaceful, that we feel free, that we feel joyful, and we want to be able to see the best in other people. So like I said, I'm not here to you know, try to change your belief system, but I hope that you, in the course of this conversation today, that it has at least made you see from maybe a different perspective on this concept of spiritual bypassing. And I would love to know your comments. Please feel free to like and share. And thank you for watching this video, and I hope you will be back again. See you next time. Namaste.